Let's now position the rest of our components into their proper locations. We'll begin with our battery. If I bring that in, you'll see that the battery is actually splitting our base feature here. And the reason for that was because when we made this circle, we actually extruded it up. We could have extruded it down and the battery would have lied perfectly on the top. So let's go ahead and move the battery now so it actually lies on this surface. And we're again going to approach it by keeping it simple and just using the align tool. So we'll go to modify, align, and to make sure I get the bottom of that battery, I'm going to untoggle the body of that cylinder for now. And I just want it to go straight up, so I'm not going to reference any of these points. I'm just going to click on the surface and I'll bring back the body and click on that surface, click OK, and now the battery went straight up. But as we can see, it's cutting our battery charger, so we need to fix that. I'm going to go to a top view, right click on the battery, choose move, and then change it from bodies to components. And then I'm going to place that little manipulator right at the center there. And I'm just going to move this back. It's going to go straight back in the X direction here. And I just want to have a little bit of a clearance there between my battery charger. So I'm just going to go, you can see if I go right up to the edge, let me see, we're at about, 5.5. I'm just going to move it, back about 0.5 or so just to give me a little clearance there. And this part, you can be extremely precise if you want. For our purposes, I think we're okay if we just give it a little bit of a tolerance like that. I'm going to click OK. Now let's move in that slide switch. So I'm going to click on that. And this is actually rotated in a different orientation that we want, than we want. So let's position this so that this surface is aligned to the surface here. So what we'll do is we'll go to modify, again, align, choose this surface, and then our base, and we can see that it aligned it, but it flipped it in the opposite direction that I wanted. See, I wanted this to actually be flipped the other way so that this surface would have been lined up. I'll turn it in the other direction so that this surface would have been touching this surface. So there's a flip button here that we could take advantage of. So if it actually flips the wrong way and when it's aligning, we can just use this button. And as you can see now, this bottom is aligned to this top. So now that we have it in the right position, we'll go ahead and move it to where we want it. So again, I'm going to go to a top view, right click, choose move, change from bodies to components, and we'll put our little manipulator right on the center there. And let's move this over. So we'll grab that square and zoom in. Now I want this handle obviously to stick out so that we can have access to it to toggle on or off. So we're going to rotate it. We'll grab this little widget, rotate it this way, and then I'm just going to bring it up. We're going to kind of just eyeball this again. Basically I just want these two edges to be right in line with that curve there. So we'll rotate it, and if you need to get more fine positioning instead of trying to snap it, you can take advantage of just typing it in here. So let's say, if we can't get it right, we can just say let's turn it by 1 degree. Maybe that's too much, 0.5 to get it just right, and click. You can click enter. Let's zoom out to see that we're okay with that positioning. So I think that looks good where it is, so I'm going to click OK, and it's now in place. And now let's go ahead and bring in that circuit playground. So I'm going to bring that up. And the first thing I actually want to do is get this onto the center. So let's remove everything besides the circuit playground, and we'll take bodies out as well. We'll go to modify, align, and I'm going to grab the bottom, and this time I do want to snap to that point, that center point, so I'm going to click on that. Then I'm going to bring the origin into view and select that. Now that I have it centered, I just need to move it up. So let's bring back all our other parts, get rid of origin, bring back bodies, And let's move the circuit playground up so it goes situated on the top of the highest part on our battery charger. So to do that, we'll go to Modify, Align, and let's get rid of bodies now just to make sure we select the right part here. We'll click on the bottom of the circuit playground and click on the top here. Again, careful not to touch any of these parts or these points, and we'll click on that surface and click OK, and that'll have it go straight up. So now we can see how all our parts are situated and bring back the bodies, and everything is in place. Now, I don't really want the circuit playground actually resting on this part of the battery charger. So what we'll do is we'll just move it up another 0.5 millimeter or so, because later we're actually going to model our own platforms for it to sit on. So to do that, we'll just right click, go to Move, change it from bodies to components. We'll put our little widget in the middle there, and I want it to move in the Z direction, so I'm actually just going to type it in. I'm going to go on our dialog box here and find my Z distance and put in 0.5, and that's going to move up, and I'm going to click OK. And we can verify that by going to a front view, seeing how we have a little gap in there.